Okay. I don't know how long this is gonna be. I don't even know if the VOD's gonna be saved for this. We'll see. I just need to think of anything else besides school or work for one goddamn second. So, get in here, everyone. God, I'm so tired. Is my mic working? Yeah, it is. Okay. Yeah, maybe this is gonna be a short one. We shall see. The main thing I wanna get done right now. I want to re-import, or I guess just import, the map that I had in my other FPS with the Skydrop or whatever that Andrew made, the synthwavy stuff. I want to turn this back into the synthwavy thing. So that's the current plan. The weapons aren't very synthwavy right now, but Andrew can draw something later once he is less busy. So let's do that. Let's get it. What is it called? The Metroid, right? Pillars. Hey there. I am so tired. I'm sorry if it shows. Should have made coffee. But this might be a short one. Who knows? Maybe we'll just add in this map and make it work and then I'll stop. I don't know. Depends on how many people come in and how many people wanna chat and whatever. But don't crash. Does it need the... Does this need the... This might need... I don't need that anymore. This might need the... Oh, already has it. I was gonna say I might need this. Look at this though. Andrew made this. This could just be a wallpaper, honestly. Beautiful. Beautiful. But oh, did it work? Nope, crashed. Cool. Nah, that's a skybox. Oh, it worked. Pillars. Hey, see, look at that. You can just make these. It's so easy. Alright, does this work? It shouldn't. Yeah. Okay, I just need... Yeah, I feel that. It took me a hot minute before I could start really doing everything I want to do with Godot. But once you get there, It's fun. You just gotta watch a lot of videos, look at a bunch of stuff, stare at the documentation for hours. It's a fun time. So I gotta copy one of these over. Yeah, there are some decent Udemy courses that I want to take a look at, want to buy. Alright, pick random spawn. This is what I was looking for. Oh, I already have it. Oh, so this should just work. Bam. Didn't work. Why not? What's wrong? Work. These all got spawned there, right? Yeah. Could you turn up my mic? Yeah, sure. How's this? I can also turn down my fan. There we go. Why is this not working? Because this just had spawn. Yeah. Oh, I need a. I know. It doesn't have the script. Here we go. Check it out. Bam. Alright, the player's tiny. Player's very tiny. Oh god. Yeah, alright. So, should I change the scale of the level or the scale of the player? I'm gonna change the scale of the player. Because I think I changed it already. No, I didn't. Oh, don't worry, my streams are boring. Hey, Eduardo. What is wrong with my scale? That is not 1 by 1 by 1. Alright, what are the extents for this guy? Oh, it looks about the same there. Hey Maxim, please come over tomorrow. I'm so stressed out and I'm so bored. Honestly, getting called into work on Wednesday was one of the most soul-draining moments of my week. Alright, this is the same, so I guess I just have to change the scale of this. The scale of this is already so tiny. Yeah, work sucks. And I'd show you guys my calendar, but I don't know what I have in there. I don't know what's gonna dox me. But my calendar is just stuffed. My schedule, I mean. And do I really want to do this to myself with retail? I would much rather be making pennies on YouTube and doing enjoyable stuff than sorting shoes and saying, "Hi, welcome to store name." So, yeah, fuck work and fuck school. I'm gonna drop a couple classes. See, this is the part of the stream where I immediately get distracted and talk about stuff no one cares about. But I started a semester, I started working last semester so that I wouldn't have to worry about having no time to do anything. And then I immediately go out, get 17 credit hours, and work 20 hours a week. All till closing, mind you. In fact, I'm gonna have my first non-till closing or non-till near closing shift next Friday, and it's at 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. Fuck. Alright, let's see if this worked. Still tiny. Maybe like 8. Here we go. This is it. This is the right size. He's running a little fast. So let me change the speed a bit. Let's do 5 and change the jump speed to 9. Alright, that's way too slow now. 6, I don't know what it was before. Was it 6 before? Well, this feels good. So if it was 6 before, then dummy me, but this is good. Maybe a little faster. I think it was 7 before, and if I change it back to 7, then it's gonna be the same thing. I like zipping around. Also, the jump height's a little too high. It was 10 before? Okay. Then I could probably try 7. Alright, that's 8. Well, let's look at 8. This is way too fast. Let's try like a hot 6.5. How about? Yeah, I fuck with this. So, the other thing I'd like to do in this stream, but I'm not sure when I'm gonna get bored, is add projectiles. So if y'all weren't here for my last stream, here's the gimmick of this game. Besides being online multiplayer, even though the online multiplayer is barely functioning, it also has my own little custom scripting system. What is data? Oh, data's a fucking script. I'm gonna stop swearing. This defines the weapon. Here are all the weapon animations. It's all in JSON. And then the game reads the JSON, creates animations for it, and then it works. What I'd like to do is add a new function to the scripting system and add a new script mechanism, I don't know, to define a projectile. Or maybe I could define, I'd rather have the projectiles defined outside of the main weapon script, but for now I think I'm just gonna put the projectile definitions inside the weapon script, just because I don't want to make a whole separate thing for reading another script just to grab some new projectiles. How many weapons are there so far? 2, but they're really easy to add. In the beginning of the last stream I had the shotgun. I didn't finish the shotgun. I only put in like 3 frames of animation because I was too lazy to add the rest, but it's all it's quick. Just a little tedious for really long animations. But all of the hit scan weapons in the original Doom games can be added now, so I could do that if I want to. Oh, another thing I need to add is out of bounds, dying. Another thing I need is there's no tracers or anything happening right now, so it just looks like I'm shooting and nothing's actually happening. So I need to add something like that, because this looks dull. The tracers only show up if you're shooting at something. Check this out. And you can barely see them actually. Is it even working? Bullet holes, I don't know how to do decals, but I would like to do that eventually. Okay, it is working, it's just tiny. Yeah, I forgot I'm messing with the scale a bunch, so let me Let me do that. Effects, smoke. I'm gonna change the scale to 24, 24, 24. And tracers, the scale is gonna be yeah, 16. That smoke looks really big. Yeah, that smoke is gigantic. I don't know math. Also, the player's still too short. I got the movement done perfectly in this version. Oh. Yeah, okay, yeah. See? Look at how much taller this player is. So much taller. And then he moves a bit slower. And the jump's a bit snappier. Not snappier. It's just faster. There's more gravity. But this feels great. If I was playing a multiplayer... If I was playing an arena shooter, this is the movement I'd want to have. God, I kind of just want to work on this one now. I don't care about the scripting language as much as I thought I did. And I prefer... Here's the, I talked about this in length in the last stream, but I'm seeing different names here for the most part than I saw at the last stream. But, the issue with this... A lot of people came to my channel because they saw this. The issue with this is I was trying to add server authoritative movement and projectiles and all that, meaning I was trying to make the multiplayer harder for people to cheat in if they so desired to. Not just because I thought, oh, this is going to get so many players that it might attract cheaters, but mostly because I wanted to release the source, and I wanted it to be something that people would actually be able to use as a reference. There's several online multiplayer tutorials for Godot out and about for peer-to-peer, but there are 0 for authoritative server, at least using the high-level networking. And it took me a solid month to get to this. I say month. It took me like a week to make, for me and Andrew to get the assets in this level and the basic movement in. Then it took me 3 days straight of just redesigning the online multiplayer for it to be server authoritative. And those are like, that was the hardest shit I had to figure out in my short game development history. Then I gave up because I couldn't figure out how to do it with projectiles. So, what my new plan was, and still probably the current plan, because I just realized, yeah, I still don't know how to do it with projectiles. The new plan was to just remake it with hit scan weapons, and hit scan is a lot easier to lag compensate. What's the difference with this version? It's more complete. It's using this gun that has an actual projectile that takes up physical space and moves. It's just the projectiles are hard to do in multiplayer. What I found out since working on this, because I scoured the internet looking for answers, and apparently what people say and what I saw on the source Valve, what do you call it? The Valve wiki on how they do all their stuff. There is a page on lag compensation. They just don't even lag compensate projectiles. They just don't even deal with it. And I saw that and I was like, good idea. So now what does it mean for it to not be lag compensated? So we have 2 options if we're going to do non-lag compensated projectiles. One, we could make it feel good, or 2, we can make it feel bad. And the making it feel bad is the better option. The making it feel good is easier and will feel better. And what that would be is just have the client shoot the projectiles and then tell the server, hey, we shot a projectile, and then it'll spawn the projectile for everyone else. But then if we do that, we're giving client full authority on him or her spawning these projectiles, and a hack could include duplicating projectiles and just telling the server, hey, we shot a projectile just now, and the server's like, okay. And even past that, the other bad thing about it is part of making it feel good and handling it on the client is we're also going to need the client to handle hit detection, which is even more disastrous because the client could just tell everyone, hey, you're getting hit right now, and everyone just say okay and die. So that's bad. If we have the client spawn them but then still have the server handle hit detection, then we're running into the problem of, well, it's not lag compensated. The client might be hitting something on his screen, but the server says, no, that person was over here, not over there. Because everything in online multiplayer is happening and you're seeing the past. It's like speed of light. Except speed of whatever your internet is. That was a bad analogy. So the worst option is to have it fully server authoritative with no lag compensation. From a fairness perspective, no one could complain about this, because what that would mean is the client would press the button, nothing would happen on their screen, the server will receive that message and then spawn the projectile, then it'll send out to everyone, including the client that fired, hey, a projectile got spawned from here and is moving from this direction, and then it'll work. Issue with that is if you have a high ping, you'd press click, and then it could take like quarter of a second or more for it to appear, which would feel bad. That's what like TF2 does. If you shoot a rocket in TF2, but you have a high ping, it'll take a second for it to appear. Like, they'll play the sound effect. They'll like, you'll press it, you'll hear like the firing sound effect, but then like a second later, it'll appear. So that's and then the third option is have the client spawn the projectile on their screen, but have it do nothing, and then tell the server, hey, I spawned a projectile. Then the server would get the ping between the client and the server, and then simulate the movement that happened on the client side using the ping. Like, if it was a full second, it'll move a full second's worth of speed away, and then it'll move from there. Then the client, if it hits the person or not, who cares? And then it's kind of like lying a little bit, and it might not be fully accurate, but I think that would be the easiest thing to do. Maybe I should just do that. Should I just do that? Because that has very little lag compensation I have to deal with. That would require me having to figure out how to get the latency. I don't know how to find the ping between the clients and servers yet. There's not like a easy function to do. What I'm assuming I'll have to do is what would I have to do? What would I think I need to have game clocks. Who called me? Got some new animations up. Ooh, I will check that out. But what I think I'd have to do is I'd have to have the client and server keeping track of the game time, and then the server will send a ping with its game time. Then the client will send a pong with its game time, and then the server will receive that, subtract the numbers, and then that'll be the latency. I think that makes sense. Thing is, I don't know how to sync game time. It's apparently not an easy process, but I do need to learn how to sync game time eventually. It is important to many aspects of online multiplayer, including but not limited to showing the amount of time remaining in a match. But also, I was saying that hit scan weapons are easier to lag compensate. But that doesn't mean I know how to do it. I know from a technical standpoint, what you'd have to do is record the game time. You'd record the game time for... Sorry, I'm not actually developing something, but hopefully you guys are learning something right now. You'll have the client and server have the game time. Then the server will keep track of everyone's movements for the last, 3 seconds, let's say. For the last 3 seconds. And then when the client shoots, the server will receive its message that he shot and a timestamp of when he shot. So the client will say, oh, I shot at 35 seconds into the game. 35 seconds and whatever milliseconds, like a very specific time. And the clocks are synced, right? So the server... Oh, I actually know how to do this. Yeah, I know how to do that. Fuck. The server would take that and say, oh, you shot at 35 seconds and whatever milliseconds? Okay. And then the server will rewind time. Move everybody back to the positions that they were at that point of time. And then fire the raycast between the client that shot and the person he was trying to shoot. And then if it hits, then cool. It'll process that, and then you're good. And then if not, then you miss. Whatever. And then it'll just not fast forward, but just go back to move everyone back to where they were before they rewound time. And that's how you do it. That's how you make it fair. And then there's little things about this, oh, the client shot on his screen and it was all, and then he shot on, but on this other guy's screen I already went beyond the corner. But kind of just have to deal with shit like that. What do I want to do right now? Honestly, my favorite part of streams are just talking about things that I can do. Actually doing it is my second favorite part, but it's much easier to just say things. Do you think open world is the most difficult game to do in 3D? Open world as a concept by itself is not necessarily hard. It just depends on what kind of game it is in general. It really depends. I'd say an open world racing game or an open world car driving game would be easier than an open world action RPG. But that's just because action RPGs are harder to make than car racing games. The open world itself is just big world. And of course, if you're making a massive world, then there is stuff you're gonna have to figure out. Let's say, for example, Breath of the Wild. You could see one end of the world from the other end, but basically it's just getting a lower level of detailed model and doing that. And as you go in, it's streaming more parts of the world as you get closer. I have no idea how to do that, so I'm gonna say, yeah, that's probably really hard. But open world could also mean open world isn't how it isn't really a descriptor on how you design your world. It's more of just a descriptor of how much. Well, okay, yeah, it is a descriptor of how you design your world, but not how you design how your world works. It's just like you could have a bunch of screens that are over next to each other, and then when you go to like in a 2D game, like a Zelda game, Zelda games are open world. You just walk around and then once you go in there, then the next place loads, and that's that. And then, like Ocarina of Time, that's open world technically. It's linear, but it's open world. I don't know. The whole map for Breath of the Wild is chunked up in the grid and loaded that way. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I wasn't sure if it like streamed in dynamically like this area around you or yeah.
Did you have enough to eat?
Is that sarcastic?
Yes.
Yeah, I had enough to eat. Yeah, I was wondering if it was like, oh, it loads in this circle around the player, but a grid makes a lot more sense. I guess that's why if you're doing like flying at super speeds across the world, why there's definite boundaries where the player has to load in the next area. Anyway, I need to get something to drink. Give me 5 seconds. More than 5 seconds. Yeah, no. There's more calculus that I don't know. Okay, I'm back. Okay. Getting drunk already. Yeah, I'm high on Kool-Aid. With an open world concept, you guys think that would work? Oh, you think someone could make a Doom-style RPG in Godot? Talking something like Strife? Definitely. Godot could do that. 100%. You're not supposed to point out that my slopes aren't working. Open world seamless Doom-like MMO? Sure. You know what I want to do instead right now? I want to make a single player FPS. I'm sorry that I cannot commit to projects. Honestly, what I should be doing right now is working on Stars Align because I'm so almost done with that. God, should I just work on Stars Align right now? Technically, I didn't do anything right now, but I don't like switching up things that I do during the stream just because people might click the stream and be expecting to watch this one thing. Then it's like, huh, I'm gonna do this instead. But honestly, people who are watching the VOD already had to listen to me ramble about nothingness for about 33 minutes. So, let's do what I decided to do. What am I doing? I wanted to add projectiles. Or should I work on this one? Here's the thing, I have 2 FPS games that I could be working on right now. Both the same thing. This one's a little bit more feature complete. Just like the slightest bit more. Monster Hunter Stories, I think a Doom open world RPG game. I only played like the first hour of Monster Hunter Stories, but I want to play that again. Is it good? Work on the better looking one, the other one isn't worth it. Are you saying that my 100% custom, handmade, never before seen in Godot first person shooter Doom-like weapon scripting system isn't worth it? Because you're right. They're both basically the same project. This one's just has a little bit more code. I was gonna add the sci-fi blaster back into the other one at a later point in time, but these are things I could work on concurrently, honestly, and I could combine them. Basically, what I want to do right now, here's what I want to do, is figure out, what I want to do is be able to, on the client, shoot a projectile and have that oh, I need to figure out the game clocks. I don't know how to do this. Wait. Hold on. Sorry, I'm gonna be silent for 1 second. I gotta think of some conceptual mumbo jumbo. So, if I need the server to keep track of the point in time that the client does something, what I could do is on the server sync the game clock, then the client would receive that at whatever tick it receives it, but also be increasing the game clock that it received. Basically, the client will be also running its game clock, and then it'll just receive the server's game clock to sync it once in a while, just in case one goes too far, or maybe client lags a bit and it didn't sync. So then the client would be running it, and then when he shoots, he'll send his game clock to the server. Then the server will find the latency between its game clock and the client's receive. No, that's not true. Well, yeah, I guess. The server will subtract the client's game time from its game time, because the client's game time is always gonna be less than the server's game time. The server will sync it, but it still takes however many milliseconds your ping is for it to get to the client. So the client is always in reverse, or not in reverse, but behind, but that's good, because the client being behind and then he sends it to the server, that should be, because we don't care where the client's time is in relation to the server, we just care about where the client's time is when he shoots the gun on his screen. Then the server will just take whatever time the client shot the gun on his screen and then pre-process some movement in the projectile, and it should be good. And then the projectile on the server side can take that and do whatever. Send it back to the client and sync the position one more time, and then both the client and server will have the projectiles in the same spot. See, the reason this is hard is because the bullets are not so fast that it's instant, but not so slow that it's easy to sync this shit. Like, it's problematic. I kind of just want to make a working game, though. So maybe I should just let the client cheat for now. Yeah, how about we do a very, very, very basic form and of cheat detection, and we'll just let the client spawn the projectiles, but then the server will check to see if the projectile is like the client will send the position and direction of the projectile. The server will receive it, the server will see if the projectile is working properly. I don't know how to say it. And if not, we could just delete the projectile. Maybe. I don't know. Man, I hate this game. Let's do Stars Online. Don't save. Sorry for the whiplash, but we're doing a platformer now. Alright. I'm gonna stop the stream and turn it back on. So bear with me.